For example, would it bum you out and say no, or would you say yes? Story 1. Probably a bad idea in the long run, as it would make it hard to get over the crush and be emotionally unfulfilling. But strong desire can impair decision-making abilities, so maybe. Edit. The majority of times I was presented with this choice, I ended up saying yes. Sometimes it worked out reasonably well. Sometimes it was pretty bad emotionally. I am also counting times when I developed feelings for a friend with benefits. Story 2. Make a quick U-turn because they are telling you they are not emotionally available, and no, they will not somehow fall in love with you later. It will end terribly. Set up positive relationship patterns for yourself. Story 3. Don't do it. You'll catch feelings hard. Then she will go on other dates and you'll have to hear about it, and it will be like a knife in your gut. Edit. Story time. So this happened to me. I caught feelings hard. I knew I was in love with her. The thought of her going out with anyone else was a pain like I never felt before. Drinking didn't make it go away. Other girls didn't make it go away. That scene in The Office when Jim comforts Dwight in the stairwell and he says to him that he wouldn't wish that feeling on anyone else, not even his worst enemy, became very real. I didn't know what to do. I tried my best to make peace with the situation and realized some time with her was better than no time, no matter how painful it made everything else. A coworker of hers convinced her to give me a shot. She asked me if I wanted to date her exclusively. We are getting married this September. Story 4. Personally, I'm not really interested in casual sex and never have been. It would be difficult to pass, but I know it would be what's best for me. There would probably be moments where I wished I had taken them up on the offer, but for the most part, I know that ultimately I would have been frustrated and it would have probably ended badly. Story 5. I would be kind of confused, to be honest. Yes, you want to have sex with me often, but do not want to date me? Edit. I just said I was confused. I did not flat out say no. It seems like a decent number of you are crummy friends. Story 6. Of course, if the sex is not enough for her to change her opinion, then fine by me, we could still be friends with benefits. I'm pretty used to the lack of love stories in my life by now. Story 7. This has happened to me. She said that she only wanted friends with benefits so she could be with other people too. Then said that after a bit and she had her fun, she would settle for monogamy with me. I never spoke to her again. Those are her actual words I used. Story 8. When I was younger, I probably would have gotten embroiled in some hopeful mess of a friends with benefits situation and watched the guy decide to marry my best friend. Now that I'm more mature, I've learned friends with benefits situations don't work for me and never will, especially in a circumstance such as this. I would nope out of this one and try to find someone who likes me back. Story 9. When I was young and always tried to do the right thing, I would have walked away. Now that I've lived a few years and regret a lot of fun I missed out on, I believe it would be worth the risk. Story 10. I've had this before. A girl I was head over heels in love with hinted very strongly that she wants me as a sexual friend. I wanted her as a girlfriend, wife, companion. I drove for 2 hours to a city she just moved to in order to help her find a place. I really liked her. She probably didn't want me because of my ethnicity, but anyway, I ended up moving countries. Looking back, if she had loved me, I probably wouldn't have moved countries. Yeah, so no, don't. But also don't move countries. Story 11. I know that the right thing to do for my own sake would be to walk away. In my younger days, I would have the willpower and the awareness to do the honorable thing, even knowing that I would regret it later. In reality, I would probably go down the friends with benefits route, even though I know it would be disastrous for my mental health in the medium or longer term. Story 12. Same situation with a crush of mine, I said yes. Later on, she told me she started having feelings for me. 2 months later, she wants to go back to friends with benefits, rinse and repeat 5 more times. Couldn't do it anymore, really felt depressed. 2 weeks after we stopped contact, she got a boyfriend she says she loves a lot. I would definitely not try again. Story 13. For me, this is part of the course, unfortunately. When I was younger, I would say yes, hoping they would like me after a while, and just break my own heart when they would still say no. Even though deep down I would hope they would change their mind. Now that I am older, I say no, but it still hurts my feelings. I am just a sap, I guess. Story 14. I'd use you as a sock, but I wouldn't put you in my shoe. You're good enough to be a regular sock. You'll fit someone's warm little foot perfectly. Story 15. In my opinion, that's a pretty dirty move on their part because they are trying to take advantage of the feelings you have just to exploit you. I'd say no thanks and move on. Probably wouldn't want to be friends either. Story 16. If it's a crush, then yes. If you have feelings, then it's up to you if you think you can control yourself, and you'd need to go in there not hoping she would change her mind. If she does, it's a bonus. But if you can't control yourself, then you'll only be hurting yourself in the long run. But I would still do it at least once to say you have. Regret is tough. Story 17. No, don't recommend if you've had a crush on them. Anyone I am friends with benefits with must actually be a friend in the first place, or it's pre-established and we actually become friends. Friends with benefits should not be used as a replacement for, I don't want a relationship, but that's more like a no strings attached type of deal. Story 18. I would stop having a crush on them or try to. If she does not want to date me, then I do not want to be with her. I am not a fan of friends with benefits situations and avoid them. I avoid any casual or casual sex type relationships. I only want long-term relationships. I also avoid having sex unless I am in a committed relationship. Story 19. Depends on how I felt about them. I've had crushes on people where I'd be totally happy with a no-strings-attached relationship and others where I had a different idea of who they were and what I wanted for them. Story 20. Don't take it personally. Sometimes the person really doesn't want to have a relationship with anyone, not only with you. Try to be open and enjoy the person as they come. Story 21. Old Chinese proverb. Ask for a lot and take what you can get. I'd start the relationship on their terms and see where it went. If it never grows into the kind of relationship I wanted, then at least I got the sex. If I turned it down, then not only would I not get the sex, but I'd never know if it could have led to something more. Story 22. Chances are your heart will get tied, and you will get hurt, probably act irrationally, also known as crazy at times. I've fallen deeply in love about 4 times. The first was a high school crush that lasted about a week. The second I never acted upon because I knew it was going to end poorly. The third time I was in my late 20s and had a lot of confidence in myself. I found a girl, great sex, great relationship. She went to Burning Man and came back to break up with me. The fourth only wanted sex, but she was so beautiful. She was easily a 9 or 10 in some circles. We had a couple of months of fun, but I got my heart involved and couldn't continue with her. It broke me knowing I wasn't the only one. Those 4 I'll always remember. I probably would have married 2 of those 4. Probably won't ever get married now, too much risk. I've had lots of women off and on. Flings, some great sexual partners, some great relationships. Some of these came close to long-term, but I didn't have that knowing feeling it would, or that I would have. From those experiences, I know I've broken some hearts as well. It hurts, but at some point it weirdly feels like this is the norm now. Some women have all their advantage in their youth. They can play around. Then the men who get battle-worn in the field of love come out the other side jaded and experienced. It doesn't feel new anymore. It lost its mystery. Sex is great, but too much of it without a relationship will hurt you in the long run. You can dissociate sex with a relationship. It will change you. Do what you like, but know what you are getting into. Story 23. I'm in this situation where I've been talking to a guy for over 4 weeks and we planned on going out, but then couldn't because of COVID-19. The thing is, the more we talk, the less interested I become in dating him. However, he's really attractive and I kind of just want to hook up once and that's it. I feel weird breaking it off because we never went on an official date and I want to hook up, but I also get less and less interested in dating him seriously because he's kind of inconsiderate. I feel awful to keep it going just so I could eventually hook up, and I tell him this, but he's mentioned a few times that he's dating seriously and isn't playing games anymore. Not sure what to do. Story 24. I wouldn't for many reasons. For some reason, I do not like casual flings. I enjoy it in the short run, but not as long as I would hope or have. Also, the most casual I have been with a girl was in a club, kissing after minutes of saying hi, because I was interested in her for real. But it did not amount to anything beyond that. I like for my companion to be my only one. I do not like to share, nor share them or myself with anyone. They are that important to me. I respect my feelings too much to go through that, especially when they decide that it is over before I had the amount of fun or benefit that would have made it worth it. If they decide I wasn't enough for some reason, they become their significant other but then go after someone with the same lack of what I have. They want you but just not you. Like those people who say you are great, either for someone else or referring to you as the type of person they want to be with, but just not you. One of the greatest insults life has to offer. I have found out that I certainly do like to be with one person. During the relationship with my first girlfriend, I did not notice any other girl that I wanted or was interested in more than her. After that relationship, I met some of the women I met during that period. They were attractive, but I had never noticed before or barely recognized or remembered them, thus confirming my theory. Story 25. If I had a serious long-term crush on someone and he said this to me, I may either 1, be interested, or 2, be put off that he is actually that type of person. I guess it is because I would have expected more from someone I have feelings for. Story 26. This question basically boils down to, how do you feel about casual sex? If you like that, then I see literally 0 reasons why you wouldn't immediately say yes unless you don't actually have a crush, but rather have full-blown feelings for them. And yes, that's a very important distinction. Do you just find them attractive, or do you want to risk heartbreak on this person? If you don't like casual sex, you still might say yes, but you would invariably regret it because you already have feelings and those will only grow with sex. So you should say no. Story 27. I personally catch feelings very easily. So a crush with someone that then turns into physical stuff is going to make me basically fall in love with that person, especially if the friendship part is really good too. I can't do that to myself anymore. Story 28. I would probably lose the crush. Sex creates attachment, even if you do not intend to commit to each other. If you fully intend to find someone else to commit to, or to not commit to anyone, friends with benefits is just going to slow both of you down and create pain down the line. It is not something I would do with someone I respect, and I can only crush on someone I respect. Story 29. No, not even when younger. There are no benefits for me or to me if I love you. It's all or nothing. Also, I won't propose friends with benefits to a man who seems to be in love with me. And friends with benefits is insulting and hurtful. All I hear is that I'm not good enough for you, but only good for sex. Story 30. Well, when this actually did happen to me, I said yes and dragged it on, and it ended when I wasn't available twice in a row. Then I guess he found someone else, which is fine. The worst part is that because you weren't a couple, they also don't count as an ex. There's nothing to mourn, just a lesson to learn. Story 31. I did this to a girl, and it ended up being unfortunate for both of us, as she kept getting her hopes up every time we were intimate, but I never developed feelings, so I ended up feeling terrible. After a few months, I figured it wasn't worth it. Friends with benefits only works if both parties agree on the meaning of the relationship, and even then, it's a precarious situation. Story 32. I couldn't do it. I am currently engaged to the love of my life, but if that weren't the situation, I would not be able to do friends with benefits because I am too family-oriented and I am religious. Story 33. I would probably say yes because I'm an idiot. I think it's easy to say in this position where it's hypothetical that it's smarter to say no, but I know myself too well to say there wouldn't be some thought that we still might be together. Story 34. It depends on what kind of crush it is. Some crushes that I've had on people have been nothing more than strong sexual attraction. In that case, I would definitely be open to it. Other crushes I've had come with the desire for a relationship and romantic feelings. In that case, it's a hard no. Story 35. It depends on how I know my crush. If I work with her, I'll turn it down. If she is a close friend, I'll also turn it down. If she is someone I can easily cut out of my life, I'll disappoint her once and move on. Story 36. I did it once and the girl got attached and I didn't even know she was developing feelings. I didn't even know she liked me, to be honest. If I were you and had feelings, to be honest, I have no discipline and would be with my crush every chance I got. But I know very well that I'm only going to get attached and hurt myself in the long run. I just don't care about the long run when I have urges. So, if you end up doing it, let me tell you, you're in for a life-changing and soul-searching lesson if they end up leaving you suddenly. Story 37. Open to friends with benefits. This indicates some level of attraction. I would suggest you decline, stating specifically that your feelings are stronger than a friends with benefits relationship, and to have a casual affair now would betray those feelings. Story 38. The real question is, did not that person saying that give you enough of a hint that you all are not at the same place? If they want to be friends with benefits with you but not commit to a relationship, then you are attractive enough to sleep with but not what they are looking for in the long run. Chances are they are probably friends with benefits with other people.